We are not including comics from the webcomics Iceberg series because those are just first impressions and not full-on reviews. Let's get started. Sonichu, the infamous webcomic that started it all and was the gateway for the internet to learn about one of the most notorious and controversial, putting that lightly, figures of all time. It completely fails as a cohesive story and is more so an outlet for the creator's sexual frustrations, which is fine, I guess. I'm somewhat of a goon-slop artist myself. But it has no intelligible narrative and the art never improves. F tier. Lightbringer, the notorious Linkara comic. It's me, the Lightbringer. Sorry, I gotta do it. It's poorly executed and has enough walls of text to imprison the reader. However, there is certainly a lot of heart behind it, as anyone who reads it can tell that Linkara's love of superhero comics is in earnest. But it's riddled with excessive exposition dumps, stiff art, bland layouts, and more cliches than a Marvel movie. C tier. Control-Alt-Delete. Yes, a legendary gamer comic from the early days of webcomics. It's not very funny and the art feels copy-pasted, although some great modern memes have come from it, like the bizarre edits of the Lost strip. A bit dull and repetitive, somewhat a product of its time, but it had some ambitions to be more than just a gag strip. Also C tier, but a higher C. I Will Survive. That's the Zootopia abortion comic. Yeah, this one. This one surprised me in how high quality and well composed it was. Fantastic artwork, great characterization for these versions of the characters, beautiful paneling, and a compelling, very human story. Most people complain that it gets Judy and Nick's characters completely wrong, but I still have not watched Zootopia, so I don't know about that. As it stands, this one gets an A. Boyfriends. The one about the polyamorous homosexuals that had the internet upset for, no reason whatsoever. I really don't know what was the big deal about this one. The author said something edgy when he was a teenager. So what? We were all edgy teenagers once. Anyway, vibrant colors. I really like the colors on this one. Consistent characterization, grounded and simple plot. Webtoon layout is points off. Sorry, it's just the Webtoon's text. Story is a bit long for a slice of lifestyle narrative, making it get boring over time, though. I mean, it was alright. B tier. The Loco Bandito. Probably one of the videos that I want to redo the most, but as it stands, the Loco Bandito is Mike Matei's dark and dangerous and problematic past, according to the terminally online wackadoos on r/Cinemassacre Truth. Sure, there's slurs and it's meant to be super edgy. My main issue that video's comment section apparently didn't understand is that the most offensive part of it was how unfunny it was. Well, I mean, the bus fucking did make me snort a bit. Other than that, it's pretty mid, honestly. I see. Bench Tales. F minus, fucking Z tier. Moving on. Moon Over June. Alright, despite my previous review, feedback in this very video, Moon Over June is actually by far the worst comic I've ever reviewed on this channel. Its art style is rather grotesque and unappealing for an adult comic, which, the art should be good in one of those, and its story is even worse. Mainly due to the two protagonists, Hatsuki and Summer. Hatsuki is a whore and Summer hates men. That's the joke, for 20 years. It's more so the framing of these characters to be empathized with when they are just horrible to everyone around them. Moon Over June is exceedingly long and highly repetitive. The only point I can give is that the site that it's hosted on links to LGBT resources for members of that community. So that's pretty good, I guess. The saving grace of the previous comic that I mentioned is that it's short and, well, at least the art's the same all across and doesn't get progressively worse. I'd rather read Bench Tale twice than revisit Moon Over June. I feel like I'm being a little too harsh here, so if you watching have ever read this one and actually enjoyed it, please let us know why in the comments section. I want to find out why. I knew I was going to break my 3-sentence or less rule as soon as I got to this one, but as it stands, this is going in F tier, below Bench Tales. Doomsayer. Oh, this is my comic from the April Fool's video. F tier, it's fucking garbage, don't read it. Okay, so the next one is more commonly referred to as Mega Milk, but its actual title is Tiny Boobs Giant Tits History. Yeah, Mega Milk, huh? Well, the artwork is executed with precision and the layout is fluid enough to keep visual interest. The main girl is iconic enough to be resurrected into a modern meme for some reason, but make sure you don't post the image on a YouTube video because they'll demonetize you. Yeah, I'm still kind of annoyed that happened because that video had some good trajectory, but boobs not allowed. You got large breasts. Nope, not allowed. Anyway, yeah, this is an incest comic. Yeah, it's pretty gross. It's short and mildly humorous, I guess. Low C. Etchy Fitness. Speaking of Gooner comics, we got something that could have been a good idea in better hands. This comic has some very remedial looking artwork and I guess an okay premise. The mascot character is disgusting looking and the plot just doesn't make sense. Oh, and I'm sorry, but if you're going to do a Gooner comic, the artwork must be god tier. That is the selling point after all, isn't it? I do think some can have interesting or even life-changing plots, yes, dead fucking serious, but it all starts with an artist that loves his subject matter. Seems this author was more interested in goats according to his username. Anyway, D tier. Jack. The edgelord furry comic that puts Shadow 05 to shame. Probably because Shadow 05 is actually good, but you naysayers aren't ready for that conversation yet. I mean it though, I fucking love Shadow 05. Jack is a story about tragedy, despair, and redemption, all revolving around the titular character, Jack.
Did you just say kids?
It surprised me, despite the earlier chapters having cruder art as well as its insane length. I might actually revisit it at some point. Top of B tier. Zoophobia. The Vivzy Pop comic, huh? Yeah, this kinda sucked, not gonna lie. And no, I'm not just a hater. This is a too many characters comic. You need to balance your cast into primary, secondary, and tertiary, or extras if you have like a particularly large one. When you're constantly switching perspectives like every few pages, it's hard to get invested in a single character. Not to mention the action scenes look extremely stiff or bizarre, like smear frames of an animation, because Viv truly has a style that's more suited to animation. Oh, it's also abandoned and unfinished, so there's that. C tier. Devoro. Oh, we're getting into the YouTuber comic series now. All two of them. Godslap review is going to be the next one eventually, though, when I get to it. That's going to be the next one. Anyway, Devoro is Masked Man's manga. It reads right to left, even though it wasn't written in Japanese, so automatic points off for being a cringe weeb. But this is actually a really intriguing dark fantasy world. The issue is its low page count. We only have essentially a prologue. I guess he gave up on it, but I did like what I read. B tier. Unfamiliar. Lavender Town's comic. Dude, I actually love this one. A slice of life about witches trying to exorcise the house of the town's new resident. Oh, and there's Yuri too. That took me by surprise. Wasn't expecting that. Very vibrant colors and the iconic Lavender Town style. I read the whole thing so far, and I even got the physical copies. When are we getting new chapters, Haley? Anyway, the first S tier of the video. Ghost Rider Apocryphal. Okay, we're on to the random comics episodes. This one was pretty solid, but still ongoing. Kind of an isekai, kind of like a fish out of water story. The artwork isn't mind-blowing, but it's got a lot of charm. I'll have to catch back up to this one eventually. B tier. Next Dead. This one was an abandoned comic. It was kind of a generic zombie survival story. Only thing that set it apart was a bit of fan service, but like, just go check out like High School of the Dead then. D tier. Journey. This one was really pretty, but the visuals alone didn't really carry the story for me. To be honest, I can't remember anything other than it had pretty artwork, and that's not a good sign. High D tier. Puppet Master. Yet another abandoned comic. They didn't even finish chapter 1. It was a pretty generic fantasy. Not sure if it was high or dark from my recollection, and I only read it not that long ago. There really wasn't enough to review for the video, but it was quick and the art was decent enough. Low C. Flow Within the Mountain's Veins. Oh yeah, this one's artwork was absolutely incredible. The art was top-notch stuff. It's a shame that the story put me to sleep. The art and story must work in unison. The art draws readers in, the story keeps them hooked. One cannot exist without the other. High marks for the artwork though. High C. Altarian Saga. That really cool sci-fi one that had more vocabulary than a Lord of the Rings book. This one had exceptional artwork, but the story felt a little too convoluted and too focused on the world building and political conflict, so why should I even care what happens to these seemingly faceless characters? Visuals were fantastic though. Low B. Pentatonic Knights. An unfinished one that I'd like to see come back. It had a really unique style, and I was actually able to get a feel for the characters around the time I finished the first and only half a chapter. I want the creator to get back to this. If you see this, get back to work, dude. A tier. Samsara Dreaming. Essentially the same thing I said for the last one. Unfortunately abandoned, but I was really hooked by the end of the first chapter. Dark and gritty and phenomenal artwork to boot. Read this one if you like a little edgelord stuff every now and then, and tell the creator to get back to work. S tier. I liked it that much. Queens. Okay, so we're getting into the viewer comics, all two of them. I got a few more coming up eventually. Like, I'm sorry for the delay. I know some of you guys are like, is he going to review my comic? I sent it in. Like, yes, I will, eventually, okay? I do everything I say I'm going to do. eventually. So, if you do have a comic you want reviewed, send it to deviantartsubmissions@gmail.com. I will put it on the list, alright? I think the next video is going to be a viewer comic because I'm like, you guys have been waiting months. Anyway, Queens. This one was great, but not for me. You know what I mean? If you like those CW teen dramas, this is your new favorite comic. Extremely competently made and tons of content available. Personally, I give it a low B, but I know if this is a genre you enjoy, you'd give it an S. August Fighter, or Auguste Fighter? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Somebody probably mentioned it in the comments section. Anyway, this one was cool. A shonen battle manga story, but all the powers are clown-based. Definitely had quite a bit of comedy sprinkled in because clowns are funny. Yes, I'm in the minority that actually thinks clowns are funny. I don't know, I'm a weirdo, I guess. Artwork has a bit of a rough start, but gets better and better. A tier. Grey Knight. Okay, we're in that, like, similar comics to my own video. Grey Knight was a dark fantasy that was exceptionally horny. So yeah, it's just like Doomsayer. I enjoyed it, but I didn't get around to reading the rest yet, but I can tell the author is a kindred spirit. A few drawings did have a little noticeable jank, but overall solid. A tier. The Dark Ones. Yeah, F tier. This one was inaccessible after the first few pages. I highly recommend doing a Patreon or something like that if you want to try and profit off your webcomic. People might pay for stuff like early access, but how are you going to gain an audience if you paywall the entire thing after the first, admittedly kind of hard to read in terms of artwork legibility, chapter? Sorry, F tier. Bones of Theos. Another unfinished one. This one was cool as hell too. Dark fantasy, sick artwork, but one chapter and abandoned. C tier for lack of motivation on the creator's part. Or who knows, maybe they like died or something. Could have happened. That's kind of fucked up, but could have. Endgame. Oh yeah, I didn't like this one. The story felt AI generated. That's how generic it was. It was really that bland. The artwork was okay. D tier. The Final Journey. This one was hard to follow, mainly because I believe the creator is machine translating it to English, probably from Japanese, because it does read manga style, but like, the English is weird. But the artwork was like so unique, I couldn't help but like it a bit, even though the story was almost impossible to follow with the bad translations. High C. The Kortan Times, or the Koratan Times. Remember what I said about Altarian Saga? Like, literally the same thing for this one. Like, the same exact thoughts. Too much focus on world building and political conflicts, not enough time with characterization, front-loaded with lore. The art was so fucking good, though. C tier. Devil's Territory. Oh yeah, I really wanted to like this one. Beautiful aesthetic, great premise of the whole quarantine zone, interesting characters, but holy shit, hire an editor. Props to whoever did layouts and managed to fit this much dialogue into each page without it looking like Lightbringer. But the yap never stops. Say it with me, class. Comics are a visual medium. Use the visuals. C tier. The Gloaming. Really unique and kind of terrifying Gooner comic. This is why I like to look at adult comics. You never know what kind of sick and twisted, perverted plot the creator's going to come up with. This is a body horror Gooner comic with artwork that kind of feels reminiscent of those like old Archie comics, like the actual Archie comics, not the brand. Maybe I'll look at those someday. I've always been vaguely interested in that series. I never actually read it. We'll talk about Sonic Archie someday for sure, though. That's one I have read. But this one, The Gloaming, it had me fully hooked. S tier, really. Anti-Idol. Oh yeah, this reminds me, I need to catch up because the creators are actively working on this one and have been hitting their schedule, which is crazy for webcomics. Dark fantasy with exceptional artwork, reads like a manga even though the creators aren't Japanese. Side note, which direction does English read? Then why are you formatting it like this? This is a little pet peeve of mine. The only reason manga reads right to left is because that's how Japanese reads, and they want to preserve the artwork. English doesn't read that way, okay? You don't translate a Japanese novel and have it read right to left. No, because English doesn't read that direction. Anyway, pet peeves aside, I enjoyed this one despite it just being a flashback to a tragic event with no clear protagonist. I know, I'm kind of a hypocrite, but I don't know. I like this one. A tier. Daughter of Darkness. This one was a fun read, but a long read. Very long read. Lots of words. One of the rare instances of walls of text being integrated well, in my opinion. Well, I suppose it's more of a taste thing than a skill thing. Like, I'd rather read a supernatural thriller with edgy elements and a thick witch protagonist than something like Devil's Territory, which is a story about two dudes, possibly lovers in a survival horror situation, talking about their feelings and stuff. You know, each their own, I suppose. Maybe it's just sort of like my personal taste coming into play here. Anyway, I enjoyed it even if it was overly wordy, and I even drew Honey Venom for the thumbnail of that video, the protagonist of the story. Hi B, liked it. Quina, whatever it was called. Yeah, this one sucked. Like, straight up, this one sucked. I'm pretty sure the cover page was AI generated and the story just seemed like a radical feminist wet dream. And that's not to say I really care about a creator's political views. I don't. I really don't, okay? I don't believe in politics, okay? Just save it. But the, like, kill-all men-ness of the premise was a little on the nose, you know what I mean? F tier. Blue Moon. Oh yeah, I like this one. This is sort of a supernatural romance story. Girl loses her father tragically and goes to clean her father's old apartment. The novelist next door, who's built like a Greek god, which shows me a woman made this because novelists are built like George R.R., not like whatever roided up Hollywood hot guy they're pushing these days, befriends her. That was a run-on sentence, excuse me. I'm not editing that. Clearly we got like an enemy to lovers plotline set up, but there's also this supernatural element on this Grim Reaper dude following the main girl. Rock solid artwork, nice different take on the romance genre. Just points off for the webtoon formatting. A tier. So, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTuber stuff. Check out my webcomic, Doomsday, if you like bad comics. Leave any suggestions or viewer comic submissions for reviews. We're going to do one next time. That's going to be the next video. I'm going to start catching up on those. To deviantartsubmissions@gmail.com. You want to send me anything there, fan art, hate mail, girlfriend applications, whatever. Send them. You know what to do. And then, yeah, that's about it. See you next time. Bye.